Dear colleagues, this is a soft cataract, and in such cases I usually employ lens tilt technique. This technique was originally described by our teacher Dr. K.K. Mehta. He used to call this lens salute technique, where the lens stands up and salutes the surgeon. I call this lens tilt technique because the lens is tilted by hydrodissection, and it is the technique, it's the most beautiful and the safest technique for soft cataracts. In this case, capsulorhexis is being done at this moment, and let us see what happens during hydrodissection. Capsulorhexis should be on the larger side, about 6 millimeter or 5.75 millimeter, so that it becomes easy to prolapse the equator, one equator out of the capsular bag. So this is a beautiful large rhexis, and now I'm going to do hydrodissection. Fluid wave is passed, BSS is passed just underneath the anterior capsular rim, and see what happens. The lens gets tilted. The equator on the left side has prolapsed out of the capsular bag. And now I inject viscoelastic substance on either side of this prolapsed nucleus. And now after this, I go into the eye with the tip of the phaco handpiece. Here it is. This is Oatley Cataracts 3 phaco machine. The bevel faces the nuclear mass. I use vacuum and make the nucleus stand out like this. Place the chopper on the opposite side and make several cuts, usually 3-4 cuts, and a portion of the prolapsed equator is removed. Now I hold this nuclear mass again and divide it into 2 parts in this way. You can easily do it. This is the safest technique in soft cataracts. Soft cataracts, if you try to do the divide and conquer technique, it is dangerous because you can directly go through the nuclear mass and pierce the posterior capsule. The lens mass, the nucleus, may be so soft that as you apply energy, you can go directly to the posterior aspect, and even you can make a rent in the posterior capsule. But in lens tilt technique, the chance of PC rent is almost nil. Now the nucleus has been removed. Now the cortical cleanup is done. You can use a bimanual irrigation aspiration system. I usually use this Simcoe cannula because I feel this is safer. Go through the side port and remove the cortex, which is sub-incisional, and remove the cortex of the opposite side. Now I go through the other side port and remove the cortex. Simcoe is fast and safe. Many surgeons in United Kingdom believe so, that Simcoe cannula is much safer than bimanual irrigation aspiration. Now I have injected viscoelastic substance and implanting a hydrophobic acrylic intraocular lens in the capsular bag. Leading haptic as well as trailing haptic is placed inside the capsular bag. This patient has pseudo exfoliation. If you see carefully, you can see white material at the pupillary margin. That is actually pseudo exfoliation material. And now, in this case, since I have used viscoelastic substance, I must remove it thoroughly. This is stage 1 of removal of this viscoelastic substance. I'm irrigating the antechamber and the capsular bag with BSS. I irrigate about 3 cc in front and 3 cc behind the IOL, and most of the viscoelastic substance come out. This is stage 1 with Simcoe cannula. After irrigating, I start aspirating and then I ask for bimanual IA. First I use the irrigation, and this is stage 2 of removal of viscoelastic substance. I just irrigate the anterior chamber, irrigate the anterior surface of the lens so that if anything sticks to the IOL, that gets dislodged. Now I use both irrigation and aspiration. I call it stage 3. And now I use a bit of intracameral moxifloxacin, inject a bit of moxifloxacin intracamerally, and then I hydrate the stroma at the side ports. This hydration of corneal stroma at the side port causes occlusion of these side ports. That's it. Now I go to higher magnification and remove the visco from the corneal endothelium. I call this stage 4 of removal of viscoelastic substance. Yes, I take so much time for removal of viscoelastic substance because I want to see a clear cornea and normal IOP in the post-op period. Then I form the antechamber with BSS and conclude the case. So please try lens tilt technique. This is the safest technique in soft cataracts.